I thought you said he stopped working on them.
No, he's still working on them.
Because
Animation takes a lot of time.
it's been like 2 years, not two, but it's been over one for sure. Because he came out with that other one last Christmas, didn't he?
No, it was a
Like two
while
Christmases
ago.
ago.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Like I think it was about the time I started my new job, my newer job.
I just saw. I know you sent it like 5 minutes ago, but I just saw it again. You say it, I like dudes.
Yeah, I know. I sent you a screenshot.
I know, and I just saw it again, and it made me laugh. And then Kanji got a persona. Oh yeah, too bad you'll never use him.
But do you
Which was all.
actually use him?
Yes, Kanji was fucking clutch.
Was he?
He was for
Is
me.
he? Is he? He's electric, right?
Yeah, but
Is he
you
more
don't.
on the terms with Skull that you're going to use more physical attacks with him than anything?
Yeah, yeah,
I figured.
yeah. Kanji's magic sucks. Like,
I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Ryuji though, except Ryuji misses all the fucking time.
yeah, you're really gonna like the only time you're really gonna use Kanji's magic is when you just like you've got like it has a weakness to electricity, and you just don't want to waste Kanji's health.
Fair enough, I suppose.
I mean, that's what you do with Ryuji too. You
Uh,
just don't want to wait. You don't want to waste Ryuji's health. It has a weakness to electricity. You're like, all right, Ryuji, go get it.
or
Wow,
unless if Ren Mamma Mia has electricity himself and you don't ever need anyone else. That was part of the thing. Like I always thought about like just going in any
or
of the dungeons just with Mamma Mia, because it always seemed like I always had an advantage anyways. The only reason I would keep others in is so he's targeted less.
I think it's a good idea to do my strategy with when you're at the beginning, you're at the early part of the game where SP's still more valuable.
Yeah.
So it's like you're never going to use Ryuji's magic skills ever. So when you come across a weak enemy weak to electricity, just use Ryuji.
Zap them. Give them a big old zap. Or if you can,
Cat,
just kick their ass, especially with guns, because guns can just magically get ammo back now.
Captain Cad.
I'm pretty sure that the tutorial about guns at the beginning lies to you.
Why? What's it say?
I want to say that it they didn't update it at all. I don't remember it saying that it refreshes their bullets.
I thought it did.
I could have sworn it didn't, but maybe I was expecting it to, and I just didn't maybe read it hard enough.
Are we gonna start? Are we gonna actually start this recording?
Oh, I've
Or
already started recording.
oh my god, are you serious?
Hey, it's good filler.
Don't include this into the fucking video.
I guess what's included in the
May,
video all of a sudden.
maybe just include the part where we're doing Persona 4 Golden comic dub.
Hey man, hey man, this is mine. I will do however I want with it.
I'm gonna be so embarrassed.
This isn't yours now.
Can we start the intro or something?
The intro would have already started like 5 minutes ago. Actually, 3 minutes and 48 seconds ago.
Okay, yeah, but I didn't know that we were recording.
Yeah, that's the whole point. We just go.
Oh my god.
Hey, it's all right. I got the thing up here, the document, and it's ready to go.
Okay,
We
so
came a
what's
little more
for
prepared this time.
just yeah, we spent almost 4 minutes talking about filler.
Yeah, exactly, and it'll be fine.
All right, what is our first topic of the day?
Our first topic is obviously third Palus. We can either start with Makoto, or we can talk about the other two that we mentioned. Uh, the Southern Illinois University director or the Kobayakawa guy.
Well, I think it's a good idea to get Southern Illinois man out of the way,
Okay.
and then by extension Kobayakawa, because he's really the start of what gets Makoto into her role.
Yeah. Well, I figured we didn't mention him earlier because he didn't really have much of a stake in this until we realized, hey, he's actually looking for the Phantom Thieves as well.
We also just kind of forgot he existed.
To a degree, I remember the SIU director last time, and I'm just kind of like, whatever. I guess we could also mention Psy because
Well then we got to mention somebody else too.
oh, um,
I think it'd be a good idea to wait a little
Akechi.
bit on that. Yeah,
He comes in by this point, doesn't he?
not in any meaningful way. No, it's just say, hey, he exists.
Okay, I didn't
It's kind
know.
of
I didn't
well,
know
it's
if that
kind
was where the blunder was or not.
no, no.
I
It's
thought they
kind of
didn't
like
have Makoto in the party. I thought that was actually I thought that was in between 2 and 3 because it was
was
just
it?
those. It was just Joker and
Was it? Are you
Ryuji and
sure?
Morgana because Makoto wasn't around. Normally, when they're all going somewhere, they're always all in the same area.
Well, no. Remember, because also Makoto wasn't on that trip because it was a trip for the second years, and Makoto's a third year.
Hmm. Huh. I guess that is a thing. I don't remember. I guess we can just mention it in the
Um,
in the next segment.
yeah, that'd
But
be
yeah, let's either talk about Frogman first or SIU director.
SIU director
Okay.
because he's the big
The
cheese here.
Phantom Thieves are stupid, and they must be caught at all costs.
Isn't that
Mm,
right?
yes,
Yeah,
I agree
yes,
with you. Such is the
yes,
future of the Prime Minister of
yes,
Japan.
yes, Master Prime Minister. I will do everything in my power to eliminate the Phantom
And
Thieves.
suck your dick.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty big part of his character too. Not gonna lie.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, he only lives to serve in his character design,
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah. So the SIU director is in charge of the SIU. I don't know what that stands for.
Special Investigations Unit.
Okay, thank you. He's
Or
in
Southern
charge.
Illinois University if you want to be dumb like me.
Yeah, we'll just be dumb. So over at over at Southern Illinois University, he's actually the big cheese there, and
Yes.
what nobody under his command actually realizes is that he is actually working alongside the prime minister, and he knows
Not the
about what.
Prime Minister, he's the future Prime Minister.
Okay, the future prime minister. Thank you for that correction. And the SIU director knows about what our good friend Mamma Mia and his fellow cohorts are doing as the Phantom Thieves. And the next prime minister doesn't like that. So
No.
he so he has tasked the SIU director to stop them at all costs.
Because he's a bastard.
Yeah, he's a bad boy.
A big bastardy bad boy.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
it does. It doesn't, but we'll roll with it.
Um, so have you? I just want to ask though. Have you ever looked at the SIU director's just character model? Just looked at it for like a good 5 minutes and just looked at what he's about.
Not for a good 5 minutes,
Oh
no. But I
man,
did look at him for a little bit, and then I'm like,
his facial structure is some of the weirdest shit. His like it's character model, not like his picture or anything like by his text box. I'm talking about his actual character model. He's always got this upside down U-shaped mouth, and it goes the U shape though goes all the way down to his like jawline. It's really funny to look at.
Jesus. Are you
So
talking
he,
about his lips?
kinda, but it's not. It's just where his lips stop, like the corner of his mouth stops and it just goes down. Have
Oh,
you?
that's fucked up.
It's super funny. If I think about it later, I'll send you a picture of him.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
But he's he's so fun to look at. Like every time I see him, I always like want to imitate what his like face looks like, but I can't because my face isn't shaped like that.
You might also want to throw that picture in as a reference to show our viewers what you're talking about
If I can
in
find
case
one,
they
because
are.
I'm not gonna reinstall the game just for that.
And I'm not going to restart the game, and I'm not going to get that far in the game to get to that.
No, and I'm pretty sure I had like two or three other save files with this too, just to play around with in case if I fucked up somewhere and needed to go back. Uh, and I'm too far into the game at all those points, so by that point he's already gone in the story.
Rip.
Yeah, and then after that, we don't know it. Excuse me, I just ate something.
Yeah,
Uh,
we don't know it at this point in the story, but spoiler alert, so the next prime minister is tasking the SIU director. The SIU director in that case is tasking other people around the city to help stop the
apprehended the Phantom Thieves
yeah, and one
because
of
the first place where it happened was Shujin, so the
yeah, one of
principal
these, yep,
was
Principal
suspect.
Kobayakawa is now not only under fire from the general press and general public opinion, but he's also under fire from the SIU director and by extension the next prime minister because it happened at his school. So the Phantom Thieves started at his school, so he's got to do something about it.
And boy does he not
Yeah, he doesn't do jack nothing. What he does do
is get
is
fucked.
yeah, but we'll talk about that later. What he does do is he tasks student council president, and I don't know why you would task the student council president with
Because
this.
she's the smart test.
And he also kind of I won't call it blackmail, but he kind of strong arms her and subtly threatens her.
Even though I'm pretty sure she could actually physically strong arm him.
I mean, yeah, but it's not going to look good on your school record that you beat the
No,
shit out of your principal.
probably not, but just saying. She could totally strong arm him.
And at that point in the story, student council president Makoto Nijima was only worried about getting into a good college, and
Because
that was gonna.
she's a selfish bitch.
Well,
Or
it's not that.
so she seems.
Yeah. Um. So she's been tasked with trying to find the Phantom Thieves because the principal's a lazy motherfucker and won't do it himself. So obviously, she jumps straight to the most suspicious group in the entire school. Uh, the delinquent, the believed to be delinquent,
And
and
the
the
slut that everyone thinks is a slut, but isn't
yeah,
actually a
and
slut.
yeah, and the not slut. And suddenly they're all best buddies, and Nijima doesn't like that.
I say the only good person out of their group so far actually does kind of seem to be Yusuke.
Well, Mamma Mia didn't do anything wrong.
I mean, but from public point of view,
Yeah,
if you looked at this as a bystander, you would be like, Yusuke's totally innocent, but all these others are fucking weird.
but also nobody knows about Yusuke because he doesn't go to the same school.
Exactly. But she does mention though that they hang out together. Makoto
Oh
does.
yeah, oh yes, that's right. So between the second and third palace, you can hear me, right?
Yes, keep going. I'll let you
Yeah.
know if I don't.
The second, yeah, say it immediately.
Yeah.
Between the second and third palace, you can catch. Sometimes you can catch Makoto spying on you, stalking you, and trying very poorly to hide. Have you noticed that before?
Yes, I have very many times, matter of fact.
It was actually on this playthrough of Royal. It was the first time that I noticed that she was very poorly stalking you.
And as cute as it is,
Oh, it's
she
very cute.
she really doesn't try hard though. Like
She thinks
you can
she's
even
trying
talk
hard.
to
That's
her.
the best part.
Like you can just even like straight up just talk to her.
Yeah, that's the best part though. She actually thinks she's trying.
But yeah, you can totally just see her walking around, like almost no matter where you go to. I think even
Oh
if you
yeah,
go, I'm pretty sure
she'll
even if you
follow
go to
you.
like the back streets by LeBlanc, I'm pretty sure she still follows you even there.
Now that I have no evidence of because I don't remember seeing that.
Cause
But
she follows you to, she will follow you to like the place where you sell the sooty clothing.
damn,
Yeah, she'll follow you there.
very poorly.
Very, very poorly.
Like it became a favorite game of mine to just see where it just see how silly I could make it look that Makoto was obviously not trying to follow.
Yeah, she was doing very piss poor, I guess.
Yeah, but I would fast travel back to where I needed to go to. So when I was done playing that in school, I just kind of stopped paying attention. Like, okay, I guess it's time to go hang out with my social link of the day.
Yeah, normally she'll just follow you though wherever around town too. Like the only place I wasn't sure was just the area around LeBlanc.
God, I I hate how it has a C in it, but it's just pronounced LeBlanc.
Yeah, I know. I always called it LeBlanc, but I'm like, that sounds kind of dumb.
I don't know. LeBlanc also sounds really dumb, though.
It sounds more sophisticated than adding the C to it.
Okay, you have a point. So,
Might mean some fancy uh maybe some like fancy term like foreign terminology. There we go.
so back to Makoto though. Makoto is both really smart because she's able to outsmart you into discovering for sure that you are in fact the Phantom Thieves, and it also helps that Ryuji's a fucking moron.
Yeah, because he, opens his mouth quite often.
Like she has you in the interrogation room, and by that I mean the student council room. And Ryuji's dumbass calls you, and you're just on the phone,
Hey man, you want to go do some Phantom Thieves shit? All right, yeah, we'll meet you later. Okay, bye. That's
and
like the a whole conversation too. You don't even get a word in.
and and like you're supposed to be annoyed at the fact that you've been caught in the act, and say, "Oh man, now we got to take Makoto to our hideout." But you really just end up getting pissed off at Ryuji.
Pretty much.
Like, what'd you bring her here for? You opened your you opened your fucking mouth, you idiot. But Makoto's also an idiot
Yeah,
because because she
she asked you to pretty much do the impossible though at first.
yeah
And
uh
then over the course of like the next 3 days, you start searching for what they want you to search for. What she ends up wanting you to search for is the person who's going around
the
town.
the fucking yakuza.
Kinda not. I don't think they're yakuza.
I think without actually being said, I think they are yakuza.
Probably, but the only thing is that there's only one real true yakuza, and that's in the sixth palace when before you fight you know who.
Ah, okay.
That's the who was he? He was the cleaner, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only true yakuza because he's got to do the yakuza thing and take off his shirt and show you the tattoo on his back.
Sega does own Atlas,
I
so
know.
Yakuza and Persona crossover when.
I know. I actually kind of want it to happen.
I would like that. I'm not
I
gonna
would
lie.
like Kiryu to beat up a bunch of adults in the name of these children. It'd be so fucking good, though.
Like,
Anyways,
when's Kiryu gonna summon his Persona?
God, when's Kiryu gonna be in Smash?
Okay, but we're getting off topic.
Uh,
So
but anyways,
Makoto,
you spend 3 days, 3 or 4 days, looking for ways to get a hold of these people that are trying to give kids easy jobs to earn quick money. However, it's a
yeah,
scam. Kids are
yeah,
falling for it all over the place, not just in Shujin, but at other places too, like Kosei, and even some adults I think are falling for it. And
it's a drug peddling scheme.
yes, and they basically ensnare the kids to owe the crime syndicate money for the rest of their lives, basically, or until they die.
And so after the 3 or 4 days, Makoto's dumbass decides to walk straight up to one of them and be like, "I want to meet your boss.
Basically, yeah.
I want to meet Kaneshiro." Like, bitch, are you stupid?
I forgot how they even learned the name of Kanashiro. I think it was through another request, wasn't it?
It might have been.
I don't remember
I
that part. No, I remember how it was. It was the request from Madarame. Uh, he comes back and tells you about Kanashiro, just as
does
another tip. I'm pretty sure because he does come back to tell you something.
you know what? Yeah, that would make sense.
Because I remember him coming back a second time, but not
I
as a shadow.
Yeah, yes. Well, he obviously came back after you changed his heart. Did he come back a second time after that?
Yeah, he totally does, but I'm pretty
Okay,
sure that's
okay.
why. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is.
I'll trust you on that.
Well, at least someone does.
So yeah, Makoto just is like, yeah, I'm Kaneshiro, and I'm not taking no for an answer. And so the not Yakuza just fucking abduct her.
I don't think they really abduct her. They just pretty much just she just kind of gets in their car and they just kind of leave.
Yeah, but they kind of force her in. Like it's not like, hey, I've blindfolded you and like tied your hands and you're gonna get in the fucking car, but it they are not happy.
Yeah, and they're like,
So
"Yo, dog, she wants to meet you," and he's like, "Okay, dog, bring her in, dog," and they're like, "Okay, dog," and then the
so
dogs bring them in.
she does have a few intelligent points in this scenario, just a few, because she does have the phone on, so Joker and the gang can continue to track her,
Yeah,
but ultimately, like it was still really fucking stupid.
pretty much. That's it's like her most major blunder though throughout the game. It
Yeah,
just shows that even as a teenager though, even the most smartest of students can still act very brash.
yeah, and I think that's a good point for her character is that she's not the perfect super smart brainiac. You know, she's got flaws and brash and
And not only that, but she was kind of put in a corner because of Kobayakawa trying to
yeah.
hold a knife basically to her throat saying, "Hey, you're not going to get your college shit if you don't get the Phantom Thieves." Or
Yeah, Kobayakawa didn't really help. Again, I still stand by the fact that Makoto was a fucking idiot in that scenario, but I understand why she was a fucking idiot.
I mean, they are all kids.
Well, yeah,
Teenagers do some really dumb shit sometimes, and this is just part of it. The fact that you can use, well, she's a dumb teenager, you that's valid because we've all done something probably extremely stupid at some point when we were all teenagers, even if it seemed like it's light now. Like it was a
I
light
don't.
problem now, it was pretty stupid.
I mean, I don't think I've ever gotten in the mafia's face that I want to meet your boss. But
I just said, even if it's something light, like I don't know, you punched a hole in the wall in your house, like even if it's something light like that, you know what I mean? Like you're
I
gonna,
stole
it's
I
still
stole books
stupid.
from the book fair when I was in elementary school.
I mean, kids do stupid shit all the time. It's just, it is actually part of a kid's character sometimes to just do dumb shit. And
Yeah,
you can
no,
use the excuse because they're a kid.
no, I agree with you completely. Like my whole point is, I understand she was an idiot, but she was still an idiot.
Yeah,
And the gang doesn't just like, okay, Makoto, now you're here, now you're. No, the gang chews her out for it at first.
yeah.
Like, wow, that was really stupid. You do you even know the kind of danger you were in?
But then, it didn't really amount to much because they know what they can actually end up doing anyways. So
So then they because they show up to rescue Makoto to do the right thing. Uh,
Kanashiro
Kanashiro,
takes pictures.
yeah, Kanashiro takes pictures and will then attempt to blackmail you because you're just standing in the perfect spot for all the drugs and alcohol to be in the shot, even though in the cutscene when it looks like he's taking the picture, it doesn't look like there's anything there at all.
Yeah. Matter of fact, he threatens to send it to the school, doesn't he?
Yeah, I don't think it's just the school. I think he threatens to send it to the school and the police. He's got a lot of connections.
Oh, I know he's a mafia boss.
Yeah, so he just outright threatens you. Like, you gotta make up like 10 million yen or you're fucked.
And even then, even if he had 10 million yen, he's just gonna add a ton of interest, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
To be fair though, if you grind really hard, you can get 9,999,999 yen,
but it's not enough. You're
but
one
you're
yen
one
off.
yen off.
And I don't think Kanashiro's kind enough to be like, you know what, you're one yen off. That's fine.
But what if you could do that though? That would be so funny.
Yeah,
I
like
think that would actually be freaking awesome.
you just bypass the third palace entirely.
Just save yourself a
Like,
day.
okay, like okay, you're free to go.
What? Yeah, that saves you like a whole day in the game.
And then the game just progresses as normal for because
Fuck
the
yeah.
game was the game was like, hey, you did this really surprising thing. We're still gonna reward you by Kaneshiro just having a change of heart on his own.
Yeah, he just has the change of heart anyways. Still goes to jail.
Kaneshiro Kaneshiro's palace is where things start is where the concept of palaces really starts to get interesting because we go from Kamishita, who believed he was the king of the castle, so his palace was just the castle and was Shujin Academy. Madarame believed he was the art director at a museum. He was like the art director at the museum, and that he was like the best painter in the world. It
Even
was
though all
his
he did was
museum,
steal shit.
and his shack was the museum. Kanashiro is where it really starts to get interesting because obviously it's going to have something to do with money. Kanashiro's palace is a bank, but
Yes.
Kanashiro just doesn't just see one location as his own personal bank. He sees the entirety of Shibuya
As his
as his
bank.
bank.
Yeah, and matter of fact, when you enter the palace area, everyone's seen as a walking ATM.
Yeah, you can't even get to the you can't even get to the palace when you first enter the metaverse because the palace is actually floating in the air.
Yes. And which, how did they get up there? Oh, because Makoto was a customer. That's why.
Yeah, yeah,
Makoto was a customer, so she was able to get up there. Therefore, the gang was also able to get up there via car.
yeah, which was a really smart and interesting move to do.
The fact
Like I
that
said,
she caught on to the whole metaverse thing pretty quickly, but then again, she is pretty smart.
yeah, this is like I said, this is where the concept of palaces really gets interesting.
Yeah,
Um, the bank, Kanashiro's bank, is actually a pretty good dungeon in terms of like puzzles and mazes and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lot of different factors. This is also where Makoto awakens to her persona, Johanna, who takes the form of a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah, and then Ryuji's like, "Whoa, man, that's so sick!" in that Sonic voice.
I mean, to be fair, it is pretty sick.
Sure. Makoto's not
Uh,
my favorite, but sure, we'll go with that.
well, I understand Makoto's not. You know what? I guess we could get into that. Why is Makoto not your favorite?
Because I think she looks like every other NPC that you walk by.
Is that your only problem with her?
Uh, Other than the fact, well, we aren't going to talk about confidants. Should we really bring it up right now?
You didn't like her confidant?
Not really.
I thought it was all right.
I mean, it's fine. It's just hers and An's are, to me, they don't stand out.
Well, you can't expect every confidant to be like super duper amazing.
I'm aware,
It just
but
wasn't
I don't
actively bad.
like I don't think any of them are bad. I don't think hers or An's is the best.
I mean, I can agree with that. I never finished Ons, to be fair, because Ons was genuinely boring.
We
But
An is a kind of a mixed bag in terms of how I
On
feel with her anyways.
On is to me On is straight up just a boring character. But we'll get more into that later.
Yeah, we'll have a special episode regarding confidants.
Yeah. Um.
When Mason's more awake, then we can also talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope it hasn't picked up too much in this, but I'm kind of tired.
I don't think it has too much. I think he yawned once. So it was so far so good.
Yeah, yawning.
But
But
anyways, back into the thing. Uh they drive out of there and then we come back the next day and it's like, "Yo, Makoto, you're a phantom thief." So she's like, "Okay." And then they go into the palace and they fuck it up the end.
I mean, we should get a little more descriptive of the palace, just a bit
Yeah,
though,
we should. I will say, in terms
because
of this, um, going back to the palace, I'm assuming that's what we're gonna keep talking about now.
yeah,
Um, Lengthwise, I think it's one of the longest.
I think that it fits it though. Like it doesn't feel too long, unlike one of the later palaces coming up. You would expect the palaces to start getting longer and longer throughout the game, but
Kind of, but
uh,
I didn't think that Madarame's was that long. I didn't even think the next palace was
Monterey,
that long either. But I feel like this
no,
one just kind of dragged when I did it.
I I personally don't think I wouldn't say it dragged, but it was definitely noticeable in terms that they increased the length. I think the only palace that really dragged for me was Palace 5.
I say that one probably dragged the most for both of us for
Um,
obvious reasons.
yeah, I spoiler alert, I don't like Palace 5.
Not very many of us seem to like Palace 5.
Um, I would actually probably say that maybe not. Yeah, no, you know, I would probably actually say that in terms of vanilla palaces, Kanashiro's is probably my favorite.
I
It
won't say
just
that I hate it though. Like I just think it's really long.
again, I felt like it was the perfect length. I felt like the game's setting. All right, the first two were kind of short, kind of simple, kind of easy. Now we're gonna start ramping it up.
Yeah, I will say though, it was this one where I actually had to look up the location of I think the second will seed because it's so out of the way and kind of out there that I ended up I think actually passing it by at some point or I got scared that I passed it by
I
because I
believe
had made it to the next area and I'm like shit I still haven't found the second will seed.
I know I had to look up a guide for the puzzle where for the pin pad puzzle, just because I was like, okay, no, I am not dealing with this again.
Yeah, I
Fuck
had to
that.
look up a guide for that too. Not because I didn't feel like doing it, but because I've already done it once. They did not change it from vanilla to this one at all. So
Not even.
having to like do the math on it, it's just more to
Yeah,
me
it was.
tedious at this point because I've done it before.
Yeah,
But
like
how the pen pad puzzles are, we'll kind of talk about kind of at random, I guess, through the palace because we're mostly going to talk about like what we think most about the palace, anyways. So, um, but how the puzzles work is there's a pin pad, and above it there's a word. It's a four-letter word, and you have to use four
yeah.
numbers to
For
match the letters of the word.
for example, I think the first one is rich,
Probably.
and
And
you have to go through that current area of the palace, finding like four little pieces of a notebook, and it'll give you the code like R equals 1, I equals 7, and and they like at first you're like, oh, okay, so then the code is like 1793. I
yeah,
don't even know if that's the actual code.
probably not.
uh
But
and
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 then it would
then
also go to like extreme lengths of R plus N plus D minus C equals 1. I'm
and
like,
then
what?
and then yeah, and then you're just saying, oh, okay, no,
By by a
I
certain point
didn't
there, I'm
sign
like,
up
I've
for
had enough of this shit. Like, I think it was by the second last one I finally just said I've had enough of this. I don't care. I've already
oh
done
yeah,
this by
because
my brain once.
I did do most of them legitimately, and then at some point I was like, I did not sign up for math.
It's not even math. It's just fuck it.
No, it kind of is math because because
I
then
mean,
you have to
you're using
go.
a little bit of additions, but you're doing it more or less by letter.
Yeah, and it's just like I did not sign up for this.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for C plus E equals F.
Yeah, Kanashiro's Palace in terms of vanilla is probably my favorite, but that puzzle can go fuck itself.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest contrivance I had with that palace. Uh, I'm not too big on the another version of the music for Price. Price is the theme of the dungeon, by the way, and it's
You should.
fucking the first version is so good. It's so catchy. It's so weird. Matter of fact, when I first beat the game, I had to go dog sit, and I had uh a what is that? A paper towel thing, the thing in the middle that holds the paper towels together. Uh, I had one of those like little rolls, and I was just
The,
hitting it.
yeah,
I was
the
just hitting it like
cardboard ball.
yeah, that I guess whatever. I don't remember the actual like it's just a cardboard tube, but I was just hitting it against something, and it made that exact sound. That little uh what is that like a it's not a bongo.
I don't know.
It's a weird drum. It's that and it made almost that exact sound when I hit it up against
Yeah,
a thing of granite in this house.
yeah, that actually sounds like a bongo.
Uh, but I hit it against that, and I just kept making that. I swear to God, it made that same noise, and I did that for like an hour. It was so satisfying to hear that song. That was so good.
You should probably play a sample of it right now.
Nah, I'm all right though.
Fuck you. No, yeah, but Price is a really good song.
Yes, it is. I don't. I still don't care
Another
for
ver-
the another version though.
another version isn't bad, but it just doesn't beat the original.
No, it's like that's kind of the same thing with the another version of a woman. Like there's just
It's
something so soothing about the original version that the second version can't do. But I understand that it's for story's sake because it's more of like a distorted version of it.
Well, it's disappointing because another version of King, Queen, and Slave I actually think was better than the original version.
It's just a little quicker. Otherwise, it's the exact same song. That was the thing about the another version of A Woman and Price is that they're almost entirely different songs altogether. they sound completely different from what their original version is.
Yeah, but I don't. I think we can both agree here that Whims of Fate is the best dungeon theme.
Well,
But
we'll get to that when we get there.
yeah, no, we'll get to that. But I think Price is top three, with our next palace that we'll be talking about being number two for me personally.
Yeah, but we're still on Kaneshiro
Yeah,
in
we're
his
almost done with
in his
Kaneshiro.
palace.
Kaneshiro, Piggy Bank Man.
Yep. So we pretty much talked about everything with the palace, though, haven't we? That we
Uh,
wanted to cover.
Without going into too much detail, yeah, because
So I guess we can
I
talk about the boss fight then.
yeah, the boss fight is pretty unique because Shadow Kaneshiro straight up just turns into a fly.
Yeah. Matter of fact, this fight was completely ass backwards from vanilla. Um, in vanilla, how you would do this fight is you fight him in his standard like humanoid form, but then afterwards he gets this giant robot motherfucking machine called a Piggytron
Yeah,
because it's
Piggytron,
symbolic of his wealth because piggy banks.
and also him being a fly symbolizes how trash of a person he is.
Is it really?
No, that's just what I like to
Oh,
think.
okay. I don't really know why he's a fly. I honestly thought that that was like the weirdest design for all of the characters in the game.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm actually gonna look that up right now because I don't know why he'd be a fly.
I'm starting to actually believe he was a fly. I'm starting to actually believe he was a fly because it symbolizes how he just is attracted to trash. He's a trash person. He has trash morals. It makes sense. It makes sense that his shadow self would be a fly.
So I kinda got a little something.
Okay.
So brace yourselves. I got this from Reddit.
Oh no.
Yeah. Uh, I mean it makes sense, but take it with some salt. Uh,
I don't
in
have my salt ready.
In Kanashiro's case, the reason he's a fly is it reflects upon Beelzebub, or Beelzebub, I guess is the Japanese translation, is also known as the Lord of Flies, and traditionally the demon associated with the sin of gluttony, much like how the bank is referred to the Bank of Gluttony. So, I guess that would explain to a degree why he's like that, is he's kind of a representation of Beelzebub.
You know what? That would make a lot of sense actually.
A little bit. I see another argument for this though. People are saying he's more of a reference to Baal, which I don't know. But to be fair though, Beelzebub, the persona Beelzebub in the game is a fly. Granted, he himself is not Beelzebub and doesn't look anything like him, but I can see why this person would think that. But he thinks it's mostly a cultural reference uh, for why he's a fly. I can check one more source real quick so we have a little bit of time.
I would try to check the Megami Tensei wiki
Yeah,
if
that's
you could.
actually what I went to right underneath it. Kanashiro is a short, overweight man with slick back brown hair, violet skin, wears a silver business suit, and has a mustache. His hair is black, has a bang covering the right side of his face. When he transforms into he transforms into Bale. So okay, that Reddit post was wrong. Uh, I mean, potentially this can be edited by anybody. Uh,
I would still trust the wiki more so than
his
just
eyes
some
become
random
large
source.
orange compound ones, and he grows insect wings, developing some fly-like behaviors, constantly twitching and rubbing his hands together, which flies do actually do that. In the second phase
Yep.
of the fight, he converts to his palace's main safe into Piggytron, a mech resembling a piggy bank to pilots. Piggytron itself has several weapons like machine guns and missiles, and it can retract its limbs to become a ball that Bale will roll into the Phantom Thieves. So
Yep.
I guess
And
he's a representation of Bale.
yeah, Shadow Kanashiro's fight actually has an interesting mechanic. Most of the I think most, if not all, of the Shadow boss fight have a mechanic where you get to send somebody to distract the boss. Except for Shadow Kanashiro, you're not sending somebody to distract him, thus losing a turn. You're sacrificing an item, which will then, depending on the rarity of the item, because Kanashiro only cares about the value of money, he will lose multiple turns, allowing you to just wail on the
Wail on the
Piggytron.
Piggytron. Oh yeah. And then, once the Piggytron is finally destroyed,
Have you ever sacrificed a homunculus to him? Oh, those turns are gone for like 3 or 4 turns,
really,
and you're just like bam, bam,
I
bam,
can't
bam.
remember what I've given to him. I'm assuming that's what you give to him. You gave to him.
Yeah, I'm not going to use this anyway. Might as well just. It's the most expensive item I have. Might as well just give it to him. I have like 5 of them.
I can't remember what exactly I gave to him. I think I gave him something along the lines of something that restored a bunch of health to me. I think. I think it's. I don't even remember what I gave to him. I just remember what I saw, and I'm like, and what the item, what I went. You have to kind of go by, even like if you're not sure about the item, you kind of have to go by its description, because the
Yeah.
game doesn't tell you the actual value of the item. So if you give him like a protein, he's not probably even gonna go for it. But if you give him something like uh, maybe like a soma, well, I'd love to see how many turns he'd waste if you just give him a soma.
Well, I think the game gives you a choice of like 3 items.
Really, I
It's
thought
like
the game just gave you a choice of your whole inventory.
no, I think the game gave you maybe not 3, but just a couple items. It's like, hey, do you want to throw this, or this in there? And obviously, they're gonna have like the least expensive one and the most expensive one that you have.
Yeah,
Which again, for me at that point, was the homunculus.
maybe that's what I gave him. I don't remember though. I remember I had like 2 or 3 turns that you just beat the shit out of him though.
Okay, yeah, I could be exaggerating with 3 or 4, but I think around 3 turns I had to just beat the fuck out of him.
But yeah, pretty much after
But
that though, the fights kind of a little. It's not tougher, but it's more gimmicky than that last bit for sure.
yeah,
Because
um,
this is where it's still ass backwards from the original. Because in the original, you start with the Pickytron, but then you go to fight his actual human self. So how the fight pretty much works is you have him and he summons 2 bodyguards. One of them deals damage, and I think the other one, matter of fact, one of them one of them protects him, but also I think reflects almost every attack. I think, or he's strong against everything. One of the two. He doesn't block, as far as I know.
that I would not
I
remember.
just remember that you can't do anything directly to him. You have to make him fall asleep. And matter of fact, he's the only boss that you can do this with. The other
Yeah,
one, the other one just straight up beats
now
the
I'm
shit out of
remembering.
you though.
Yeah, but you can
But
also eliminate
he's,
him.
yeah, he's super weak though.
Yeah, now I'm remembering.
So once you make the big guy that blocks everything fall asleep, then you just beat the shit out of Kanashiro, and eventually, uh, Kanashiro every other turn I think will use some kind of thing like an attack for money or whatever. I can't remember what like the attack name was. I just remember that he
I
he uses some kind of attack and it has the word money involved in it.
I really feel like I destroyed him too fast to be able to see that. I don't think I saw that attack.
Basically, so you never saw them run away.
I I can't remember. I don't think
Because
I
if
saw
enough
that
turns
happen.
pass, eventually he runs out of money if you get his health down low enough, and then those guys just kind of like wander off. They just run away from the fight. You don't even get to kill
Yeah,
them.
yeah, no, that didn't happen.
So that's the actual fight if you
Yeah,
do it the way I did, which I guess is a little more slower than normal, which is ironic considering how overleveled I became at the end of the game. But
right.
the
Um,
basically though, he runs out of money. He can't have anyone to protect him anymore, and then you just beat the shit out of him, and then that's the fight basically. And then his palace ends up being a bunch of fake. His treasure ends up being a bunch of like fake money, doesn't it?
yeah, like Monopoly money.
Yeah, but the suitcase itself that held the money was worth more than anything.
Yeah, that's the best part. But you actually discover something rather important to the plot from Kanashiro's shadow, because Kanashiro, after you beat his shadow, he's like, I don't get it, man. You have the ability to come into you guys have the ability to come into people's hearts, and like you're not doing this for money, or like you have the power to make yourselves rich. Like what the fuck, man? You're not like that other guy that's going around in here. And so then you discover that you are not the only one able to enter the metaverse.
Matter of fact, you learn this with Madarame, but it's so vague of a thing at Madarame. It's easy. It's probably easy for most even new people to shrug off.
You learn that with Madarame.
Yeah, you learn that with Madarame as his shadow's about to disappear.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you do. I promise
Guess
you
I
do.
guess I must not have been paying attention to Madarame.
Yeah, I just remember Yusuke's like, I have no use for you in this art world, or whatever he says. And then he's like, well, what about the other? What about the guy in the black mask? And that's kind of all that was said about it.
So, but Kanashiro is, for most people, Kanashiro is the one where you'll end up figuring out, oh shit, more people are somebody else is running around in here, huh?
Yep, in the
That's
metaverse,
crazy. That's crazy.
especially for
And
them because
then
they still kind of don't have a clue of what's really going on.
yeah.
I mean,
So
they do, but they don't. You know, like for the whole basically almost everything in the game, you're learning so much about the metaverse that they can travel into. You never stop learning about the metaverse, basically.
yeah, you really don't be even up until like one of the last boss fights in vanilla, you're still learning new things.
Yeah,
But I feel it's necessary to point out that Makoto actually introduces, with her being a party member, Makoto actually introduces a new element. Not new necessarily, because this element was in the original Persona 1 and Persona 2 duology, but new to the modern Persona games, Makoto introduces a new element, and that's the nuclear element.
yeah.
So, for those who are unaware,
And Yusuke is ice, by the way.
yeah, uh, Persona 3 and 4 had fire, ice, lightning, wind, dark, and light.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah,
Damn, that seems really small compared to what 5 had.
yeah. Persona 5 has um
Fire.
I'm just counting the elements, not like, yeah, the elements. Fire, ice, wind, lightning, um nuclear, psychic, which we'll be seeing later,
Yeah,
curse,
and
and
bless.
black,
Now,
which are dark and light. They've just been renamed.
yeah. Now I'm assuming Almighty is in every single one of them.
Almighty is in every single one of them. Yes.
That's something I guess we should probably mention now because we might forget. Almighty is kind of a bit of everything, but there's no defense against it in the game at all.
Yeah. Almighty is.
But it has its
Uh,
own base stat, so it doesn't
yeah.
cap above much else. So if you have an enemy that doesn't have a weakness, Almighty's a good bet. But the only issue is that even though it deals a buttload of damage, you could, if you broke the weakness of the enemy that didn't have, like, for say the enemy nullifies Frey, which is nuclear.
And
Nuclear
you
could
can use
probably do
new.
more damage than the Almighty attack,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Almighty spells usually cost a lot of SP,
That's because
and
they don't have an affinity or a
yeah,
element.
and I mean, they'll do some good damage, but a lot of times if you're able to, it's a better idea to spend a turn to break your enemies uh null, null and resistant,
Yeah.
so that way you can deal more damage with another element.
Which I will say that I actually did do away with a lot of break skills, unless if it came to Joker specifically. Joker would be my kind of like my breaker to a degree. The only one I kept break on was Haru
Which we'll be talking about her in
later.
one of the later episodes. But uh, one more quick thing before we get back to the main plot. Um, the first Almighty skill, the first introduction to Almighty you'll actually introduced to is actually your all out attack. The
Really,
all
that's
out
Almighty damage?
yeah.
I thought that was physical. No, not physical, but a form of physical.
No, I believe it's registered as Almighty.
Really?
At the very least it is in 3 and 4. I can't imagine they would change it in 5.
How do you know that?
Uh, I looked it up on the wiki one time.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. I'm not gonna argue with it, because I mean, it seems right, but to me, it seems wrong. Like logically, it seems weird that that would be what that is, because
I mean,
it's the
I'm
only
gonna look it
form
up
of that
real
that you
quick.
see. No one else
Well,
uses that.
I mean it makes sense because your all out attack is supposed to do like a lot of damage. So it
Depending on
makes
the enemy.
sense. Yeah.
I remember when in vanilla, I just went up against a stupid pyro jack or a jack o' lantern at like level 60 in Mementos, and
That's
it did like 8,000 damage. I'm like, that poor little bastard.
why did you have to do that to Pyro Jack?
Because I wanted to. It makes me feel like a big boy when I can bully the smaller enemies because they're not so big anymore because I'm bigger than they are.
If I look if I try to find it in the wiki, just give me a second.
Matter of fact, I think there is an in-game achievement for doing over 999 9,999 damage, but you can't have it done from an all-out attack. It has to be from like an actual skill. So you'll, I think it's like one of those where you just need to keep baton passing over and over.
Oh, okay. I was listening to you, but I wasn't responding to that. I was responding to the wiki. We're gonna learn today. Ready?
Oh boy.
It should also be noted that let me make sure real quick. It is not specifically talking about any form of game, so I'm going to assume all of them. All out attacks were technically in Persona 2 as well.
Really?
They just weren't like all out attacks. I think they were like triple fusion spells,
Oh.
triple charge. Um, it should also be noted that all out attack is a physical almighty base, meaning it cannot be voided, repelled, or absorbed.
Yeah.
However, the damage of an all-out attack can still be severely withered should the targeted enemies resist physical and or almighty based attacks. So you can resist almighty.
which is few and far between though.
Yeah, but it's more likely to find somebody that resists physical.
And also, it also depends on the how many people you have in your party that are active, or
Oh
if
yeah.
they've died or not.
Oh yeah, because
So if you have like even if you're so if you have Joker, Morgana, Ryuji on just the base four, and Ryuji and On are KO'd, you're only
it's
gonna have
just
Joker and Morgana do the all-out attack, so you're gonna only get half damage out of it.
and if Joker is incapacitated in any way besides death, which is just the end of the battle,
Yeah,
um, if Joker's incapacitated in any way, you can't do an all-out attack at all.
yeah. Like if he's brainwashed or if any character's brainwashed, they cannot participate in the all-out attack.
Yeah, but if Joker specifically is frozen, paralyzed, brainwashed, sleep,
Confused,
you
any
can't.
of that
Yeah,
shit. Yeah,
yeah, you can't do an all-out attack. Period.
yeah. And basically any kind of like elemental ailment or status ailment, basically.
Well, besides burn,
Yeah,
I think
Burn's the
maybe
only I think exception.
maybe hunger.
I don't think so. No, it's
I
not because I can't remember what boss it is, but one of the bosses in the game, it might be the fifth boss, uh, because that
it
stupid
is
almighty
it,
attack he has. But
it is.
you can't do the all-out attack when you're hungry.
Okay, okay.
I better not say that too loud. My dog knows what that word is, and he'll wake up and want food.